Bad Guys, A Transformative Life. In a quiet town, nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, lived a group of notorious troublemakers. They were known to everyone simply as the Bad Guys. Max, the sharp-witted leader, always had a trick up his sleeve. Jake, his loyal companion, was known for his brute strength. Clara, quick and cunning, was the brain behind most of their schemes. And then there was Tom, the quiet one, who acted as the lookout, but had a heart that was more hesitant about the life they were living. Together, they stirred up chaos, pulling pranks and causing mischief that made the townspeople wary of them. They stole from local shops, played cruel jokes on innocent people, and never once thought about the consequences of their actions. Their lives seemed to revolve around proving how tough and rebellious they were. To the Bad Guys, life was just a game, and they were the undefeated players. But as the days went on, they began to notice that people no longer laughed at their antics. Instead, they were starting to become distant and frightened. What once seemed like harmless fun was slowly turning them into outcasts. One evening, after a particularly nasty stunt where they had ruined a festival the townspeople had worked months to prepare for, something shifted. Tom, who had always been quieter than the rest, began to feel the weight of their actions more than ever. That night, as the group sat around a fire in the woods, laughing about their latest victory, Tom stayed silent, lost in thought. Clara noticed and nudged him. "What's up with you, Tom? You've been quiet all day." He looked at her, then at the rest of the group, and finally spoke. "Don't you guys ever wonder if we're wrong?" The group fell silent, taken aback by his words. Max scoffed. "Wrong? We're just having fun. Nobody gets hurt." But Tom wasn't convinced anymore. He pointed out the hurt expressions they had seen on the faces of the townspeople after the festival, the sadness in the eyes of a little girl who had watched them destroy her favorite stall. Slowly, the others began to feel the same nagging guilt. For the first time in their lives, they questioned if the life they were living was the one they truly wanted. The days that followed were filled with reflection and hesitation. The group tried to go back to their old ways, but it wasn't the same anymore. The thrill was gone. Everywhere they looked, they saw the impact of their actions: the broken fences, the upset shopkeepers, the frightened children. Max, who had always been so confident, started to feel a sense of unease deep within. He realized that being a bad guy wasn't as fulfilling as he had once believed. Jake, always the strong and silent type, admitted that he missed the days when they were just kids playing together, before their mischief had turned into something darker. Clara, who prided herself on being the smartest, started reading books on philosophy and kindness, trying to understand why they had chosen this path. One night, they all gathered in the same spot in the woods where they used to plan their pranks. But this time, the conversation was different. They talked about how they could make amends, how they could change the course of their lives before it was too late. With determination, the Bad Guys decided to turn their lives around. It wasn't easy, and at first, the townspeople didn't believe them. They were met with suspicion, anger, and distrust. But the group persisted. They started by helping rebuild the stalls they had destroyed, offering their time and labor to fix what they had once broken. Max apologized to the festival organizer, a kind old man who had always believed in second chances. Slowly but surely, their efforts began to pay off. Jake used his strength to help an elderly farmer with his crops, Clara began tutoring children in the town, and Tom, whose heart had led the transformation, became known for his kind gestures, always helping those in need. The town started to see that the Bad Guys were no longer the troublemakers they had once been. Instead, they were becoming valued members of the community, learning that true strength and courage came from kindness and doing the right thing. As time passed, the group's reputation changed. They were no longer feared or ridiculed, but respected. The same people who had once crossed the street to avoid them now greeted them with smiles. The transformation wasn't just about changing their actions. It was about understanding the power of empathy, compassion, and responsibility. They had learned that being bad didn't make them strong. It had only made them lonely and feared. In becoming good, they found something far greater, a sense of belonging, purpose, and true happiness. Max, Jake, Clara and Tom realized that life wasn't about winning some game of mischief. It was about contributing to the greater good, about lifting others up rather than tearing them down. And in doing so, they discovered that the most transformative journey wasn't about being tough or rebellious, but about choosing kindness, even when it was the harder path to take.